The River 98.9 on location this Memorial Day from the Diamond in downtown St. Marys for the 2026 Memorial Day Parade. And under cloudy skies, we just had some rain pass about 15, 20, 30 minutes ago, but seems to have given up on the rain, but it remains cloudy and nice, mild outside. Not bad to be out and enjoy the Memorial Day Parade here in downtown St. Marys. And we remind you that the parade route has changed for this year, and so has the location for the ceremony for Memorial Day. The parade route would go from here up to Memorial Park, and that's where the ceremony would be held. Then after the ceremony, the parade would then move down to the Diamond, where a second ceremonial event took place. Now, of course, at Shawmut Park, there is a memorial, the flag dedication, the cruisers, Elk County Cruisers had a lot to do with that, along with some others. And now this parade will go from here down Parade Street and then back through the Diamond area, down Depot Street to Shawmut Park, and that is where the ceremony will take place. Sheriff's Department, Sheriff Todd Calderon is there involved. Pennsylvania State Police also represented here today. I'd like to thank the Pacelli Insurance Agency for co-sponsoring our Memorial Day Parade coverage on the River 98.9 Facebook page, along with Maker's Warehouse, State Representative Mike Armadini, Gerg Insurance and Financial Services, Newell Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Keystone Cold Blooded, Adams Auto Repair, Save-A-Lot, and Burke's Home Center on the Million Dollar Highway. Thanks to those folks for making this all possible to broadcast the parade on the River 98.9 and on our River Facebook page today. Members of the Legion in the parade this year as always. And not a bad day to walk in this year's parade, with the temperatures being what they are. In the 60s right now, and a comfortable 71 this afternoon, and we might be okay for some outside barbecues. And folks at the St. Mary's Servicemen's Burial Detail. Followed by the POWs missing in action from the United States Navy. It is that day, of course, that we wish everyone a peaceful Memorial Day as we honor those who gave their lives. A message from Burke's Ace on the Million Dollar Highway and Save-A-Lot on Brussels Street. Grand Marshal and the representatives from the prisoners of war being recognized and remembered here today. Memorial Day ceremonies once again will be held exclusively at the Shawmut Park in St. Marys. That's a big switch from the Memorial Park, which has hosted the Memorial Day ceremony, but since the last few years there have been a movement to put up a memorial at Shawmut Park, which is there. Thomas Jesperner is the honorary Grand Marshal for today's parade. He'll be a featured speaker at the ceremony at Shawmut Park following the parade. The route changed a bit. It is now back down to Parade Street, up to Vito's, and make a right-hand turn, come back down around the Diamond, and then the parade will move toward Depot Street and then to Shawmut Park for the ceremony. We never forget the sacrifice of those who served and gave everything for our country. And on this Memorial Day, we remember from Adams Auto Repair and Keystone Cold Blooded. Our officer of the day being recognized. And a good crowd that has turned out in this portion, just across from the Diamond Theater near the Keystone Lunch and Beth's Nail Salon, and we are at the sidewalk of the Independent Home Health Agency, where we have a good view of those taking part in the Memorial Day parade today. Members of the St. Marys City Police Department are at different locations in the parade route, and they're taking time to mingle with the residents of St. Marys, which is a neat thing. And you can hear in the background, be entertained by our local high school bands. Speaking of which, we take time to congratulate the Elk County Catholic High School class of 2026. Graduation ceremonies taking place yesterday, as they always do, on the day before Memorial Day at Elk County Catholic High School Auditorium. St. Mary's area graduation ceremonies coming up this Friday, and we'll be broadcasting those live on the River 98.9 Facebook page. This is the St. Mary's Area High School Marching Band. Begley, the General Chairman, and as always, the Master of Ceremonies for the Memorial Day Parade. And of course, a combination of St. Mary's Area High School and Elk County Catholic Band. City Police, St. Mary's Police, St. Mary's School District. In the parade. This is the Legion Post Commander, and that is a fine-looking vehicle. Thinking of those we lost this Memorial Day and honoring the brave souls who paid the ultimate sacrifice. We miss them this Memorial Day. From Newell Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning, State Representative Mike Armanitti, and Gerg Insurance and Financial Services. One of the fun things about the annual parade is the classic vehicles that participate. The Vietnam Veterans Association represented. Michelle, Andreas, Casey, happy Memorial Day. Hope you have something fun planned with your family today. Thanks for checking in. Amanda Hoover from Knoxville, Tennessee, checking in during our broadcast. Members of the Legion Auxiliary are here. Also, the Elk County Community Foundation, Tiffany Boscher, and I believe her daughter helping out in the vehicle today, along with members of the Disabled American Veterans, offering counseling, caregiver services, employment assistance, transition support, and volunteer programs for our community. Abby Bauer, hello, and best to you and your family this Memorial Day. The rain is stopped. It actually seems a bit brighter. Hopefully the clouds will give way to a little sun if you have a barbecue planned this afternoon. Classic cars, members of the clergy, and Pastor Scott Wiest is being chauffeured in the parade. Another classic vehicle. So the student singers, they'll be participating in the Memorial Day service. And again, that is at Shawmut Park this year on Depot Street. Happy Memorial Day to Sheila Lynn. Watching our broadcast here on the river, 98.9. Appreciate the chance for us to bring these Memorial Day festivities, especially maybe for those who maybe couldn't make it from around town, or maybe those that are from St. Marys but maybe live elsewhere. Comes an organization I'm pretty fond of, and that would be the St. Marys Rotary Club. Lenny Snellick is being chauffeured. We see Vern Kragel in the back there, and good to see him. Vern, great group. By the way, they'll have their Beef on Wick sale coming up in June. That usually is around the 4th of July holiday. Another major fundraiser and a very popular fundraiser for the St. Marys Rotary Club. Again, the parade route changing this year. Those folks that have passed will be heading to make a right-hand turn onto Parade Street toward Vito's, and there take a right. They'll come back down and around the Diamond area, then proceed down Depot Street, where they will proceed to the Shawmut Park, and that's where the entire Memorial Day ceremonies will take place for the first time. Veterans Day ceremonies were held at the park earlier this year. And of course the Elk County Cruisers, along with the Community Foundation and other organizations and individuals, made it all possible. Hello to Tracy Wendell. Happy Memorial Day to Tracy. Now we just we saw the Rotary Club's float in the parade. Now we find some members that are straggling behind this year's president. And I believe the reason that they're behind is because of the fact that they're the source of some candy being delivered to the kids along the parade route. The 2026 Memorial Day Parade, as we salute the Knights of Columbus participating in this year's parade. Elk County Fair Queen, Emma Wilson. And the Elk County Fair Princess, Sydney Bizarre, joining us here for the parade, and they'll be handing off their reins coming up in August at the 2026 Elk County Fair at the Fairgrounds and Cruising. Elk County Humane Society, and they have a puppy in the front seat with them. Glad to support that organization. And the Elk County Cruisers, and Andy Hoy and all those folks from the Cruisers who have done so much for our community throughout the years. And again, they are responsible for making it possible to have the parade ceremony down at the Shaman Park, along with many other ceremonies and events throughout the course of the year. More classic cars. Some of those classic cars, boy. Gives the sound of the races at the airport over the past several years, right? And you'll see many of these at the car shows throughout the summer. We mentioned the Elk County Cruisers. They're a part of many benefit car cruise-ins throughout the summer. Trans Am making some noise. Is that the Charger? Happy Memorial Day to Paula Hansen. Check it into the broadcast today. We'll have the parade broadcast, and then we'll take a short break while we get set up for the ceremony, and that will take place again at Shaman Park. One of the old-time early Ford trucks. And from Gino Piselli, from Piselli Insurance Agency and Maker's Warehouse, we're wishing you a peaceful Memorial Day as we honor those who gave their lives for our freedom. Those are the men and women that we are honoring and remembering today at the 2026 Memorial Day Parade in downtown St. Marys. And our next entry in the parade comes from the St. Marys Lions Club. Legion Post, I believe, as they have done in the past many years, have hosted a social at the Legion located on Center Street following the ceremonies. Friends of the St. Mary's Boys and Girls Club. And Joe Jacob, the executive director. And I believe he is behind the wheel. Some of the club members providing candy to share along the parade route from the St. Mary's Boys and Girls Club. These are the future Saints of America, put together by the Benedictine Gift Shop. Benedictine Gift Shop participating in this year's Memorial Day Parade. Always thankful for a wonderful participation by those in the parade from the community, different organizations and clubs. We see that the beginning of the parade is now headed down toward Depot Street. Straw Brewery on the Oak Country Alliance van. They held their Wapiti Wattle duck races yesterday, and lots of water for the ducks. City officials, Joe Sarginger in his classic car, member of City Council. The horse and carriage. The County Commissioners salute to America's 250th. Greg Gebauer, Matt Quisenberry, Fritz Leckert, our Elk County Commissioners. Office of County of Veterans Affairs represented. Just move the camera around, you can see that the beginning of the parade now making its way back around the left side of the diamond. They're headed to Depot Street, where they'll head there for the ceremonies, which will be coming up following the parade. Matthew Fry represented, the Elk County Treasurer. Also coming in the vehicle, the Mustang, Black Mustang, is State Representative Mike Armanini, who is wishing you a meaningful Memorial Day weekend filled with reflection and gratitude. Proud to support our coverage of the Memorial Day Parade today, along with the Sally Insurance Agency, Maker's Warehouse, Burke's Ace, Keystone Cold Blooded, Newell Plumbing, Heating and Air Conditioning, Gerg Insurance and Financial, and Burke's Ace on the $1 Million Highway. Happy to have the folks from Elkland Search and Rescue serving our area 24/7, 365 days a year. Some of their vehicles entered into the parade. Had a comment from the Arizona Rangers. It says they tune into our parades, but it seems to be raining on each of our broadcasts. Micah. St.Mary's Crystal Fire Department. That's one of the original vehicles. Fire Chief Phil Krause aboard along with some of the veterans on our fire department. And they always like to take the opportunity to recruit if they are in need of younger members of our volunteer fire department. If you're interested, you can contact any member or simply stop by the fire station. Coming up, you'll see more volunteers from the Crystal Fire Department. The Arizona Rangers say their forecast North Scottsdale 105 today. We're saving all of this for you, Micah, when you come back to visit this summer. And there's plenty of this wet weather to go around. More from the Crystal Fire Department. Many of their engines from the different stations located throughout the city. Engine number 18. There will be no rain. And the Arizona Rangers, specifically talking about Arizona, of course. Not when they come east. Happy Memorial Day to Sharon Vollmer checking in on our Memorial Day broadcast, located right near the Independent Home Health Agency in St. Mary's and the Crystal Fire Department and their entries into this year's parade. If you're just joining us, this parade route has been changed this year. They are headed up toward Parade Street, where they'll take a right to Vito's, take a right back down through St. Mary's, then to Shaman Park, and that's where this year's Memorial Day ceremonies will take place. The Master of Ceremonies, of course, is Stephen Begley. The utility truck for the Crystal Fire Department, followed by the rescue truck 112. Again, congratulations to the class of 2026. Big weekend as Elk County Catholic graduation ceremonies took place yesterday. And then coming up this Friday, it's St. Mary's Area High School, excuse me, and their class of 2026 and their ceremonies at St. Mary's area. St. Mary's ambulance service in the parade. And a thanks to all of our EMS personnel for the jobs they do in our community all year long. Good morning to Jane Boschert, watching along with many others. We've had responses from Arizona, Kentucky, and of course right here in our hometown as we bring you live coverage of the Memorial Day Parade, and a day that brings time for reflection and gratitude for those who served so we can enjoy our freedom. St. Mary's ambulance service. Memorial Day greetings to Bernie Cup. Bernie said St. Mary's never disappoints, and you were spot on, Bernie. I can tell you, rain or shine, Memorial Day, the parade goes off, and so does the ceremony. And to all those who coordinate the parade and the ceremony, it takes a lot of time and effort. We know that Aaron Straub is involved in that as long as so many others. And I believe that as the St. Mary's ambulance trucks have passed, that concludes the Memorial Day Parade portion. Next up, the Memorial Day ceremonies will take place, and that will be at the Shawmut Park in St. Mary's. We'll be taking a break right now. We'll be coming back live on the air as soon as we're set up with the ceremonies at Shawmut Park. Happy Memorial Day from the river, 98.9.